Welcome to SuperTalk, a podcast hosted by Hillside Public Schools Superintendent Glover. The goal of SuperTalk is to provide an informative platform where Hillside Public School students, staff, and stakeholders can have a candid conversation with the district superintendent, as well as be spotlighted for their hard work and initiatives. Good day, good afternoon, peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of SuperTalk with Superintendent Glover. Coming to you back in our home office here in Hillside Public Schools. And today I'm honored to have one of our own directors within the district here to shed some light on an important event we have coming up this weekend. But it also highlights this month that we are celebrating, known as Autism Acceptance Month. So let's first begin by introducing none other than our Director of Student Support Services, Dr. Sandy Mercedes. Introduce yourself for everyone.
Hi, everyone, and thank you, Superintendent Glover, for inviting me on your podcast. It's very nice, and my name is Dr. Sandy Mercedes. I am the Director of Student Support Services, and I've had the honor and privilege of working with our families here in Hillside for about 20 years now.
About 20 years, folks. So you understand this district inside and out. But before you became director here in the Office of Student Support Services, talk about your journey. As we begin to highlight your role, someone say, well, why is Dr. Mercedes on the podcast today? What is so important about the work that she does within the district? So tell us about your journey to why you are sitting here today having a conversation with us about such an important time of the year.
So I started my journey actually as a research assistant at Kessler Rehabilitation Institute. And the work there that I did was concentrated on traumatic brain injury and spinal cord injury and quality of life outcomes data. I then kind of moved my way over to mental health clinic, concentrating and focusing on providing clinical therapy to children who exhibited extreme behavioral challenges. Did some clinical work there. I was a bilingual clinician.
And this is all in New Jersey?
This is all in New Jersey.
Undergrad, grad? Where'd you go undergrad?
So undergrad, I went to Kane.
Kane University?
Started my journey
One
there.
of our partner universities. Shout out to Kane University.
Mm-hmm.
And then?
Continued to Fairleigh Dickinson University.
Here in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That's also okay.
Yep.
Jersey girl?
Yeah, Jersey
you
girl.
are a Jersey girl?
I am a Jersey girl.
Okay. All right.
Yes, my family also comes from New York, and
well, I figured the
yeah, we stopped off there.
We stopped off there. We made a little pit stop. What part of New York? You know, us New Yorkers love to hear where other people are from. What part of New York?
The Bronx. My mom's family's from there, and before there, my family comes from Puerto Rico.
Oh, you're a native Puerto Rican. All right, that's beautiful. My sister-in-law is Puerto Rican. My niece and nephew, I love them dearly. All right. We share some kindred spirit. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The island.
Encanto, sí.
Drop a little of that language in there. All right. But you end up in Jersey. So let's stay focused on New Jersey. So you can't claim New York. All right. That's okay.
No. So from the mental health clinic, I made my way, I received my certification as a school psychologist and joined the child study team here in Hillside.
So your career has only been in Hillside?
As a school psychologist, yes. Mm-hmm,
primarily
education.
Okay.
Yes.
So you became a school psychologist on the child study team.
Yes.
And so there begins your journey as a full-time practitioner in the area of special education.
Correct.
What has that been like for you?
It's been amazing. Our students are amazing. Their families are beautiful, fantastic people. I've had the pleasure of working with amazing professionals along the way. We've been lucky enough to see growth in our department. When I first came on board, we really didn't have many specialized programs.
For the audience and those who are watching, talk about what are specialized programs, because sometimes folks don't always understand what that means.
So specialized programs are programs whereby you have a special education teacher who is trained to work with students surrounding a certain type of disabilities, certain needs that a child may have. So the teacher-student ratio may be different, the curricula may be different, the level of services and therapies are really kind of focused around the needs of that particular grouping of students.
And so how long did you stay in the space as school psychologist on the child study team?
I was a psychologist on the team for about 7-8 years.
Okay.
And then I moved into the role as a supervisor of special education.
Okay.
And it was during that time where we kind of took a look at the services and different programming that we offer in district.
Okay.
And when I moved into the director role, so between that time, we opened up, I believe it was 8 specialized programs, which really focused on a wide range of students with different needs, from autism programs to learning and language disability programs. And now we have 17 programs.
17 programs in our district. How many students are we currently servicing?
We are current in those settings. We have approximately 135. I say approximately because we're enrolling. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. So you go from being on the child study team as a school psychologist, you become a supervisor, and then what year did you become the director?
I believe it was 2015.
So 2015, you become director.
Mm-hmm.
And what were some of those major initiatives that you wanted to continue to have flourish under your watch?
So we did not offer extended school year programming prior to my entering that position. So it took a lot of time and effort to really put that together to make sure that we were matching the services that students were receiving outside of the district during the extended school year time. We also made a major effort and move on having many IEP meetings with families so that we can essentially explain to them we have those levels of services that you're used to getting outside of the district now in the district. And it really was a journey, because I mean, as a parent, if you're used to receiving services outside of the district because you were initially told, well, we don't quite have all what your child needs here, so we have to go somewhere else, kind of come back to the table a couple of years later and say, well, look, we're opening that, we're doing that now. There's going to be that level of hesitation, I'm not sure. So luckily we've established relationships and rapport with our families to really bring those students back.
In a small community like Hillside, it's important to have children stay in their school space and school settings where they're outside playing with their peers. Exactly. So it's beautiful that instead of having to travel whatever distance they may have to another school, out of their area, out of district. That's beautiful. So you have invested a lot of your educational experience and time in the area of special education. Why is this space so special to you?
I have personal connections with family members who are neurodivergent, who have special needs in the area of learning disabilities. So it's near and dear to my heart personally. And it's it's something that feels very close to me because it just clicks. You know, when you enter into a situation and you're there to advocate on the behalf of someone who may not know all that they're entitled to or know exactly what is offered or options to them, it makes me feel professionally and personally so happy and satisfied to be able to help in that area.
I could sense the emotions in you coming out a little bit just now when that question was asked of you. A lot of times, a lot of our families don't know how to tap into those resources that are available to them. And then when met with resistance or met with pushback, that kind of pushes them away. Talk to me how Hillside Public Schools, especially the Office of Special Student Supports and Special Education, how does that make our parents feel comfortable and welcome? What is one of your primary goals in making sure our parents don't walk away unhappy?
It all starts with communication and making sure that we have case managers in our department. Their main goal is to establish that relationship. Make sure that the parents know that there's someone that is on their side, someone there to advocate on behalf of their child to make sure that they are getting what they need. And having open communication, whether it be consistent phone calls, emails. We invite parents to come in and observe their child in the setting. If there's ever any a concern or anything that they feel that they're not quite understanding, we really want to emphasize the fact that we're a team. It's not school officials, versus parents. We're here together for to reach the same goal, and we want to walk alongside, not have confrontation.
Sometimes, and especially in today's climate, so many people in the public eye feel that there's an over-emphasis to classify, to have our students placed in special education settings. And while I do align to the research that we have to be very critical of how we classify many of our students, how we offer these services, talk to me how you let parents know that this is actually a space that may be needed for a child, as opposed to a space that they're being dumped into.
I think it's really important to explain to parents exactly what our data tells us, what's going on with a child who may be experiencing challenges, where it be communication, academics, behavioral, social, emotional, whatever area, and make sure that they understand that this is a service to help them grow and make sure that they achieve the goals that we all collectively want them to work towards. So it's really important to explain where we're coming from and what is bringing us to that decision. So transparency is key in that.
Transparency is definitely important. And so let's transition to the month of April as we talk about many parents who have children with learning disabilities, special needs, and especially very severe learning disabilities or challenges. They struggle. They struggle to find locations and places where they can take their children to feel safe, especially in school. There's this anxiety level that comes about because they feel like their child may be excluded, right? And I think that your department especially, and here within our district, we've tried to really create this inclusive environment. We talk about it frequently, and we're not always perfect in it, but we're definitely conscious of what we're trying to do. So during the month of April, I know we had a conversation, you and I, about a year ago, on discussing how we can support our families and our children who have autism. Talk to me first, just before we talk about what we're trying to do in a few days. Talk to me about what autism is. And I know it's not really something just as simple as say, here's a simple definition, but for the audience, here's the broad definition, and maybe you can filter it down.
Sure. So autism is a spectrum condition. It is, typically characterized by having certain differences in the area of communication, interactions with others. It could be associated with just having a different learning style, inputting information in a different way. So there may be sensory integration differences. So autism, being that it's a spectrum, there's a lot of different ways that it can look. Students or individuals who may be on the spectrum on a more severe side, where there may be challenges in a lot of different areas of their ability to integrate into their environment, may have different challenges which require different levels of intervention and services.
This is a space that I spent a lot of time studying when I was a principal. We grew an autism program from pre-kindergarten all the way to 8th grade in my school. So it's very near and dear. And I too have a family member who, he's a beautiful spirit. He's a unique spirit and a challenging spirit who has been diagnosed with autism, but you wouldn't know it right away because his energy and his attitude are very, very unique. They match the family attitude. So he definitely, and I think a lot of people forget that, right? Because there is, you mentioned the word, there's varying levels of being on the spectrum of having autism. So when we think about it, there's not just one definition that meets every student.
Right.
Talk to me about what we have, what type of autistic programs we have here in Hillside, and how we've done our best to support the children and the families.
So our programming starts off at the preschool level. So we have preschool disabled programs, which are really centered and focused on students with significant developmental delays. So students that either have a diagnosis that early in life or may have symptomology that would be consistent of meeting that criteria would start off in that kind of program. And then we have 4 ASD programs, so autistic spectrum disorder programs throughout the district within our elementary schools. And then as we get older into middle and secondary at high school, we have multiple disability programs where we try to really have it more focused around transitional skills.
Yeah. And in total, you have, and this is, I know it might be putting you on the spot a little bit with the numbers, but rough estimate of how many students we service who have been diagnosed with autism as a primary disabling condition?
So as far as students who are in those specialized programs, I would say it's about 50 plus. And then there are students who have classifications of autism who may be in the inclusive environment. So they're in general education, they're in pull-out resource. So, and then their needs are being met in different settings.
How would you like to, as you think about your leadership in this space, how would you like to, or what are some ideas you have about expanding the work we're doing, specifically working with our children who are sitting in the autism spectrum, on the autism spectrum and in those classroom spaces?
So what do we look to accomplish in those programs?
Or some goals, some goals that you have, some long-term goals or short-term goals that you have.
I really would like to expand our programming beyond 18. Right now, our students finish their functional academic programs at 12th grade, and then we have to look for other programs that may continue their work to focus on their post-secondary transition goals. So we would love the opportunity to really develop, create, and enhance the 18 to 21-year-old space in district.
That's good. So one of the things we hear a lot from parents, I heard when I was a principal of our programs, is that we don't have many spaces that we can take our children, whether it be on the weekend, in the evening time, because there's just this fear of acceptance and being accepted in a space. And you're trying to change that. You and your department have put together a very special program that highlights and celebrates this month, Autism Acceptance Month. And we have an event taking place this weekend in district. Talk about that event.
Yes, we do. We're super excited.
I can tell this just oozing out of you.
Well, our superintendent was kind enough to strongly encourage and be there to help in any way possible to really kind of think out the box and say, what kind of event can we kind of pull together? How can we really celebrate our students who are on the spectrum, their families, our community that's just overall there to help? So we pulled together an event that will take place this Sunday, the 28th of April. We have families coming out and different vendors that have partnered with us that range from a sensory friendly petting zoo, the Bubble Man for a bubble show for students who can really engage in that sensory input. We have a magician, we have different inflatables, a balloon artist, and one of our parents has actually volunteered to do face painting. So we're very lucky to have her out and support.
I don't know if the audience is caught, but a lot of the terminology that was used, or keyword that was used several times, was sensory. So truly trying to make this event where we touch into those modalities of learning and feeling that really speak to many of our students who have autism. What else can we expect? That may be a little special surprise for our families that come out this Sunday, April 28th, between the hours of 11 and 2. I know I'm just going to drop that little nugget in there. But what else can you share and give us as a little surprise? We didn't give the location. I'll let you do that.
Oh, that's right. Location. We're going to have this event over at Ola Edwards Community School. It's 1530 Leslie Street in Hillside. We also have some of our team members coming out. They're going to actually run some stations. We'll have an occupational therapy corner, a movement group run by our physical therapist. We'll have our case managers out helping any way they can. I believe we also have the Hillside Police Department and Fire Department that will be, showing up to show some support. And of course, our superintendent will be there.
That's right, superintendent. All of our staff members can come out and support. This is beautiful, and I definitely give a major accolades to you and your department for pulling this together. I know that it's important that our families, like we said, feel like they're part of the community in multiple ways, and not just we service you during the school day and we forget about you. So this is just our first annual. This will continue, and we'll make it bigger and better every year. And we welcome ideas and any other little avenues of success that you want to travel down to make sure that just this space grows along with other spaces. It's all yours. You're doing a great job working with our students and our families, and that's why you're in this podcast today. So kudos. We applaud and we salute you on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to shout out about your work in this area, especially this month, or anything else that's special in your mind?
We pulled together a calendar, so I hope everyone has gotten a chance to see that. We shared that with our families. It's on our website. It's just a great place to find resources for things that are happening throughout the county and beyond, throughout the state. And it's really just in an effort to make sure that everyone feels that they are included in different activities and celebrated. And I think that's really the important takeaway of this month, is that you're seen, you're loved, you're accepted, and that's our takeaway.
Well said. I have the privilege of serving this community as superintendent of schools, but it's also a privilege to get a chance to interact with these children that we have in our district. They're great, and I say this all the time. And a lot of times my podcast, I know sometimes I take it in different directions based on the time and what's happening. And this month was important to make sure we highlight, and I'm trying to make sure we highlight what's happening in district so folks can connect. And again, the Office of Student Support Services is very diverse. One compartment of it is the Office of Special Education and the Resources. But as we celebrate the month of April as being Autism Acceptance Month, I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to see what we're doing in district, and don't think this is the only thing we're doing in district. In fact, I'm gonna let Dr. Mercedes tee up one more thing that says we transition to the month of May, another major pace. We're not done. Don't stop.
Oh no, we've got more. It's Special Education Week in New Jersey, May 12th to the 18th, where the team is planning on another fun challenge. I don't know if everybody remembers, but last year we had a confetti challenge where we challenged everyone to go and really show appreciation for all of the professionals that are providing services to our students, and surprise them with confetti shooter things. So this year we're looking to possibly do a dance challenge, so more on that a little later, but hopefully we'll get the entire district involved.
Sounds like our social media person is going to be pretty busy that week.
I think he is.
That's beautiful. Folks, it's about enjoying the space. It's about work not always being so serious that we can't relax and have fun. The confetti challenge, if you didn't get a chance, I'm sure it lives on YouTube someplace. We had a great time. Someone caught me off guard one day. It was beautiful. It does make a mess, as it is still in the ceilings of tiles in many of our spaces, but it's a fun experience, and it's also a good time for our kids to just relax and let go. It's definitely about education here in Hillside, but it's also about building the social, emotional supports of our students. Hillside, stand up. Let's continue to do great things in the name of our students. We have a great community of residents. We have a great community of staff who come here every day to make sure our kids get the best We have great leaders, Dr. Sandy Mercedes and her team on the path to making sure our students are successful. Hillside, let's get it, let's go. Another episode of Super Talk. Signing off, Superintendent Glover.